Footy. And Steve Pearce spent a night watching English Premier League. Welcome to the couch, Steve.
I wish it was a bed.
Could you tell us what happened? Because all of the matches were played at the same time, and you had to keep an eye on all the goings on. Tell us what happened between the two Manchester teams.
It was an amazing night. It was an incredible night. It was all set up, really. It was set up for Manchester City to just win this title. They had a home match against QPR, and really all they had to do was win it, and they were the champions. And it was supposed to be as simple as that. But the trouble is that things don't always go to script, and they got away to a little bit of a nervy start. And at the same time, Manchester United was playing Sunderland. They had to win and hope that QPR got something out of this game. And that's eventually what started to transpire. So Wayne Rooney pops up at the far post there and puts the ball in the back of the net. And that's Manchester United's winner, as it turns out. They do the business, and they win that match. And then, of course, Manchester City at this same time is trying to find a way to break down QPR side. The possession rate was something like 80% to 20%. So there's the opening goal. It just sneaks in for Zabaleta. It's his first goal of the season. Paddy Kenny can't keep it out. Then in the second half, out of nowhere, Lescott makes a horrible mistake, and Cisse, not the one we've seen score a lot of goals recently, but Gabriel Cisse, slams the ball in the back of the net. As you can see, he can hardly quite believe it. And suddenly it's 1-1, and City now doesn't have the title in its own hands. And then this happens. Joey Barton, who is a serial offender, elbows Carlos Tevez in the face and then sees off Aguero on the way off as well. He'd already been red carded before he took out the other Argentinian. So now QPR's down to 10 men, and then somehow Traore goes down the wing, puts the ball in. Jamie Mackie, beautiful header down into the ground, almost impossible to save. And QPR lead. City are nowhere near champions now. United are coasting to an easy 1-0 win. And then this, deep in stoppage time, Dzeko pops up and makes it 2-2. United's game has finished at this point, so they think we're going to be champions. There's 2 minutes of injury time left.
What happened? Let's take a look at it.
Balotelli. Aguero! Staggering! Just staggering! He's won the league with 90 seconds of stoppage time to play. United's game was over. They had it. They've had it stolen back. It's just the most extraordinary scenario you could have dreamt of. Where does football go from here?
So this is all about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can tell you, when I was younger, I was wide awake when you go out to pubs and whatever, but this is about the most wide awake I've been at 2 o'clock in the morning for a long time. I mean, this just is an amazing... I mean, you couldn't script a more incredible finish to a Premier League season. I told my wife last night I was going to stay up. She said, "You're an idiot." But I think I was right.
She's a fine judge of character.
Let's look at the celebrations now, and tell us how Man City's arrived here. Hasn't won the title in 44 years, but there's been expectations building for the last few years.
Well, they have 1968 was the last time City won the title. So this is, almost 2 generations that it's been without. But what happened, so they dipped down about 12 years ago. They were actually in the 3rd tier of English football. They started the climb back up, but then 4 years ago, Sheikh Mansour and a lot of Middle Eastern oil money came in and bought the club. And since then, they've spent, it's somewhere around £1 billion. Well, you can do the maths, but there's not much difference these days between pounds and dollars, and not as much as there used to be. And they've brought in some very, very good players. One of the cheaper ones was the captain there. You can see lifting the trophy to some ecstatic scenes, Vincent Kompany. But, they've got Balotelli, they've got Tevez, they've got David Silva, they've got Sergio Aguero. These are some of the biggest names in football that you can get. And one of the biggest challenges for Roberto Mancini, who has been the manager there for 3 years, you can see him clapping there, is managing all these egos, these big stars, these big talents, and he's had some real challenges, especially with Balotelli and most notably with Tevez, but it's been, success in the end.
It's got the balance right. Now, before we go, let's just have a look at Sir Alex Ferguson when they got the news that the winner had come.
Sad moment for United fans.
Even this stage, Rooney doesn't know, and then you can see the bloke with his tranny there. He's just waiting to find out. Then the news comes through. What do you say of Manchester United at this point?
Well, what can you say? I mean, this is just... look, at least, they've won a lot. They've won 19 league championships, and a huge, vast amount of those in the last 20 years. So it's much easier to take it on the chin when you've won as much as you have. So, I mean, Rooney, Giggs, Scholes, I mean, they've all won a lot. There'll be the odd player in that side who didn't win one last year. But, I mean, they can take that. I mean, 44 years, you can sort of accept that that's, you know, it was their time. They were the better team over the year.
I don't know, Alex Ferguson really doesn't like to lose.
No, he hates it. He hates it, but he'll already be plotting to come back. And don't forget, you know, in recent times there's been Chelsea who threatened to take United's crown. They've come back. Before that it was Arsenal. And he's always found a way to get back. I think this is going to be a heck of a challenge because of the amount of money and the team that they're putting together at City. But I think he'll be back next season with a couple of new players, and who knows.
Well done to you for your marathon effort, Steve. We appreciate the analysis, mate, as always.
Thank you. I'll have another coffee.
Yeah, go to sleep. Thanks, Paul.